Welcome to the cinematic universe of Marvel's Dark Symbiote. Today, we dive deep into the highly anticipated Venom, The Last Dance, 2024. A film that promises to redefine everything we thought we knew about Eddie Brock and his relentless partner, Venom. From the very first trailer, fans have been buzzing with questions. Will this be the final chapter of Venom's story? Who are the new villains stepping into the shadows? And most importantly, can Eddie Brock truly escape the chaos that has defined his life since the symbiote first bonded with him? Directed by the visionary filmmaker, insert director's name, this latest installment brings together a stellar cast, breathtaking visuals, and a narrative that balances emotional depth with the high-octane action fans have come to expect. But what sets The Last Dance apart from its predecessors? Well, let's break it down. At its core, Venom, The Last Dance explores themes of redemption, sacrifice, and the enduring bond between two unlikely allies. Eddie Brock, played once again by the brilliant Tom Hardy, faces his most personal battle yet, a fight not just for survival, but for his very soul. This time, the stakes are higher than ever. A new antagonist, shrouded in mystery, emerges to challenge Venom's dominance. Played by insert actor's name, this villain is not just another symbiote, but something far more sinister, pushing Eddie and Venom to their breaking points. The story picks up where Venom, Let There Be Carnage left off, but don't worry, newcomers to the series will find plenty of context to get caught up. With a mix of callbacks for longtime fans and fresh twists for newcomers, The Last Dance is designed to appeal to everyone. And let's talk action. The film delivers jaw-dropping fight sequences that raise the bar for superhero films. From citywide chases to explosive battles that threaten to tear the world apart, the choreography and special effects are nothing short of spectacular. But it's not just the action that makes Venom, The Last Dance stand out. At its heart, this is a story about relationships, messy, complicated, and deeply human relationships. Eddie Brock and Venom's bond has always been unconventional, but this film takes it to a whole new level. We see Eddie grappling with the emotional toll of living as one half of a symbiotic duo. The isolation, the fear of losing control, and the constant struggle to find balance, it's all brought to life in a way that's raw and relatable. On the other hand, Venom, voiced with equal parts menace and humor by Tom Hardy, continues to evolve as more than just a creature of chaos. For the first time, we see glimpses of vulnerability and even humanity within the alien symbiote. Of course, a Venom film wouldn't be complete without its fair share of humor. The Last Dance doesn't shy away from the darkly comedic tone that fans love. Venom's quippy one-liners and Eddie's exasperated reactions bring much-needed levity to an otherwise intense narrative. Now, let's talk about the supporting cast. Insert actress/actor's name returns as An Wang, Eddie's ex-fiancée, who is once again pulled into the chaos. This time, An plays a crucial role, not just as a bystander, but as a key player in Eddie and Venom's journey. We also get a deeper look at her dynamic with Chiwetel, a fan-favorite moment from previous films that's expanded upon in surprising ways. And then there's the new villain, insert villain's name. Unlike anything Eddie and Venom have faced before, this antagonist brings a chilling intensity to the story. With motivations that blur the line between good and evil, Villain is a character who forces our heroes to confront uncomfortable truths about themselves. The visuals in The Last Dance are nothing short of breathtaking. From the dark, rain-soaked streets of San Francisco to otherworldly landscapes that seem ripped straight from a nightmare, every frame is a testament to the filmmaker's dedication to creating a visually stunning experience. The symbiote effects, in particular, are more detailed and dynamic than ever before, showcasing just how much Venom has evolved since his first on-screen appearance. And let's not forget the music. The score, composed by our insert composer's name, masterfully blends haunting melodies with pulse-pounding beats, perfectly complementing the film's tone. Whether it's a quiet, introspective moment or a high-octane battle sequence, the music pulls you deeper into the world of Venom. Still Venom. The Last Dance isn't just about spectacle, it's a film with heart. Eddie's journey is one of redemption, not just in the eyes of others, but in his own. The story challenges him to face his fears, own his mistakes, and fight for what truly matters. For Venom, it's about proving that he's more than a monster, that even a being born from chaos and destruction can choose to do good. As the film hurtles towards its climactic finale, fans are in for a roller coaster of emotions. Without giving too much away, let's just say that The Last Dance lives up to its name. There are moments of triumph, heartbreak, and unexpected twists that will leave audiences on the edge of their seats. And yes, stay through the credits. Marvel has a knack for teasing what's to come, and this film is no exception. Venom, The Last Dance, 2024, is more than just another superhero movie. It's a bold, ambitious chapter in the Venom saga that dares to take risks and dive deeper into its characters than ever before. Whether you're a die-hard fan or a newcomer to the series, this film has something for everyone. One of the most compelling aspects of Venom, The Last Dance, is its exploration of the moral gray areas that define Eddie and Venom's world. Unlike traditional heroes, Eddie doesn't see himself as a savior, and Venom certainly isn't interested in altruism. This dynamic creates a fascinating tension as the duo navigates a world that often sees them as villains rather than heroes. The film delves into Eddie's internal struggle like never before. What does it mean to share your body and mind with an alien symbiote? How much of yourself can you give up before you lose who you are? These questions drive Eddie's arc, and Tom Hardy's performance brings incredible depth to the character. You feel every ounce of his frustration, fear, and ultimately, his resolve to embrace the monster within for the greater good. On the flip side, Venom undergoes his own transformation. The symbiote's initial instincts for destruction and chaos are challenged as he begins to understand the value of Eddie's humanity. The film doesn't shy away from showing us Venom's darker impulses, but it also gives us moments of surprising tenderness and loyalty that make him a more complex and layered character. The relationship between Eddie and Venom has always been the heart of the franchise, and The Last Dance takes it to new heights. Their banter is sharper, their conflicts more intense, and their bond more profound than ever. It's a partnership built on mutual dependence, but also mutual respect, a partnership that's put to the ultimate test as the stakes escalate. Now, let's shift gears and talk about the action sequences. If you thought the previous Venom films were intense, The Last Dance cranks up the adrenaline to an entirely new level. From a breathtaking chase scene through the crowded streets of San Francisco to a climactic showdown that spans dimensions, the film delivers some of the most visually stunning and creatively choreographed action scenes in recent memory. Each fight feels unique, thanks in part to the incredible work of the visual effects team. The symbiote's fluid, ever-changing forms are brought to life with a level of detail and realism that's truly awe-inspiring. Whether it's Venom sprouting massive tendrils to take down an enemy or the new villain unleashing their own terrifying abilities, every moment is a visual feast. But the action is never just spectacle for spectacle's sake. Every fight has emotional stakes that keep the audience invested. When Eddie and Venom clash with their enemies, it's not just about survival. It's about protecting the people they care about and proving that they're more than the monsters the world sees them as. Another standout aspect of The Last Dance is its world building. The film expands the Venom universe in ways that feel organic and intriguing. We learn more about the symbiote race, their origins, and their potential for both good and evil. These revelations not only add depth to Venom's character, but also set the stage for future stories in the Marvel Universe. And let's not forget the new characters who join the fray. Insert actor's name shines as a new ally who brings a fresh perspective to Eddie and Venom's mission. Their dynamic adds an interesting layer to the story, offering moments of both humor and heartfelt connection. The villain, however, steals the show. Villain's name is a force to be reckoned with, both physically and psychologically. Their motivations are complex, their actions unpredictable, and their presence utterly terrifying. This is a character who pushes Eddie and Venom to their limits, forcing them to make impossible choices and confront uncomfortable truths. As the story hurtles towards its conclusion, the emotional stakes reach a fever pitch. Without spoiling anything, let's just say that the ending is as bold as it is unforgettable. It's a conclusion that feels earned, one that ties up the story's themes while leaving just enough room for fans to speculate about what's next. In many ways, Venom, The Last Dance feels like a culmination of everything that's come before. It's a film that honors the franchise's roots while boldly pushing it in new directions. It's a love letter to the fans who have supported Venom from the beginning, and a reminder of why this character continues to resonate with audiences around the world. So, whether you're here for the action, the humor, the emotional depth, or all of the above, one thing is clear: Venom, The Last Dance, 2024, is a film you don't want to miss. It's dark, thrilling, and surprisingly heartfelt, a fitting send-off for one of Marvel's most unique and beloved characters. As we peel back the layers of Venom, The Last Dance, it becomes clear that this isn't just a superhero film, it's a character study, a visual spectacle, and a thrilling exploration of morality and identity. But what makes this entry particularly special is its willingness to embrace the unexpected. The narrative introduces twists that feel both shocking and inevitable, seamlessly tying into the themes of choice and consequence. Eddie and Venom are no strangers to walking the line between heroism and villainy, and in The Last Dance, that line becomes blurrier than ever. The script, penned by insert writer's name, crafts moments that challenge both characters and audience alike. What defines a hero? Can redemption be earned, or must it be taken? These are the questions that drive the story forward. A significant portion of the film is dedicated to Eddie's past, his regrets, his mistakes, and the people he's hurt along the way. Flashbacks are used sparingly but effectively, shedding light on the events that shaped Eddie into the man he is today. These moments add emotional weight to his journey, making his ultimate redemption all the more satisfying. Venom, too, gets his moment in the spotlight. The symbiote's evolving relationship with Eddie serves as a mirror for the story's larger themes. At times, Venom's brash, impulsive nature clashes with Eddie's attempts to make amends, creating tension that feels authentic and earned. But as the story unfolds, we see the symbiote grow in ways that feel surprising yet true to his character. The supporting characters, meanwhile, add depth and texture to the narrative. And Wang's arc is particularly compelling, as she grapples with her lingering feelings for Eddie while navigating her own challenges. Insert new ally's name serves as a foil to Eddie, offering a fresh perspective on the symbiote-human dynamic. Their banter provides some of the film's lighter moments, but their presence also serves as a catalyst for Eddie and Venom's growth. The villain's name, is a standout in every sense of the word. From their chilling introduction to their final confrontation with Eddie and Venom, they command the screen with a presence that's equal parts menacing and magnetic. What makes them so compelling is their complexity. They're not just evil for the sake of being evil. Their motivations are rooted in pain, loss, and a twisted sense of justice, making them a character you can't help but empathize with, even as they commit unspeakable acts. Visually, Venom, The Last Dance is a triumph. The cinematography, helmed by insert cinematographer's name, captures the dark, brooding aesthetic that has become synonymous with the franchise. Each frame feels meticulously crafted, whether it's a quiet, intimate moment between Eddie and Venom or an explosive battle sequence that lights up the screen. The action, of course, is a major highlight. From Venom's gravity-defying leaps to Villain's Name, unleashing their full arsenal of powers, the fight scenes are a masterclass in choreography and visual effects. But what sets these sequences apart is their emotional resonance. Every punch, every clash of tendrils carries weight because the film takes the time to make us care about the stakes. As we approach the climax, the tension becomes almost unbearable. Eddie and Venom are pushed to their breaking points, forced to confront not just their enemies, but their own fears and insecurities. The final battle is a spectacle in every sense of the word, combining jaw-dropping visuals with emotional beats that hit hard. And then there's the ending. Without giving too much away, let's just say that The Last Dance delivers a conclusion that's as bold as it is satisfying. It's a bittersweet farewell that leaves the door open for future possibilities while providing a sense of closure for Eddie and Venom's story. The post-credit scene, meanwhile, is sure to have fans talking. In true Marvel fashion, it teases what's to come in a way that's both tantalizing and thought-provoking. Whether it's a hint at a larger crossover or the introduction of a new character, one thing is certain: the Venom saga is far from over. So, what's the final verdict? Venom, The Last Dance, 2024, is a must-watch for fans of the franchise and newcomers alike. It's a film that takes risks, pushes boundaries, and delivers on every level: action, emotion, and spectacle. It's a fitting conclusion to Eddie and Venom's journey, but also a reminder of why this character remains one of Marvel's most compelling creations. Whether you're here for the heart-pounding action, the laugh-out-loud humor, or the emotional depth, The Last Dance has something for everyone. It's a film that will leave you cheering, crying, and eagerly speculating about what's next. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Venom, The Last Dance. If you're as excited as I am, make sure to catch it in theaters and experience the symbiotic chaos for yourself. Until next time, stay venomous. But what truly sets Venom, The Last Dance apart is its emotional core. For all its stunning action sequences and darkly comedic moments, the film is ultimately a story about connection, about finding strength in vulnerability and learning to trust others, even when the odds are stacked against you. Eddie Brock's journey in this installment is his most personal yet. Haunted by the ghosts of his past, he's forced to confront the choices that led him to this point. There are moments where his resilience is tested in ways that feel achingly real, and Tom Hardy brings an unmatched intensity to these scenes. His portrayal of Eddie is raw, layered, and deeply human, a perfect counterpoint to the alien chaos of Venom. Venom himself, of course, remains the chaotic force we've come to love, but The Last Dance allows the symbiote to grow in ways that feel fresh and unexpected. He's still the loud, brash, and unapologetically violent presence fans adore, but this time, there's a deeper understanding of what it means to truly coexist with Eddie. Their partnership is no longer just a necessity. It's a choice, one that comes with its own set of challenges and rewards. The film doesn't shy away from exploring the darker side of their bond. Eddie and Venom's relationship is messy, complicated, and at times, downright toxic. But it's also deeply compelling, filled with moments of surprising tenderness and mutual respect. Watching these two flawed beings learn to work together is one of the film's greatest joys. The supporting cast also shines, each bringing their own unique energy to the story. And Wang, played brilliantly by insert actor's name, gets a much more substantial arc this time around. Her dynamic with Eddie is equal parts heartfelt and strained, as she struggles to reconcile her feelings for him with the reality of his situation. Newcomers to the franchise also leave a lasting impression. Insert actor's name delivers a standout performance as Eddie's reluctant ally, bringing a mix of humor, charm, and gravitas to the role. Their interactions with both Eddie and Venom add a fresh layer of complexity to the narrative, offering moments of levity amidst the film's darker themes. And then there's the villain. Villain's name is a tour de force, a character who is as fascinating as they are terrifying. What makes them so memorable is their depth. They're not a one-dimensional antagonist driven solely by destruction. Instead, they have a backstory that's as tragic as it is compelling. Their motivations are rooted in loss and desperation, making their actions all the more chilling. The dynamic between Eddie, Venom, and the villain is electric. Their clashes are as much about ideology as they are about brute force, and the result is a series of confrontations that feel both visceral and thought-provoking. From a technical standpoint, Venom, The Last Dance is a marvel. The visual effects are nothing short of groundbreaking, bringing the symbiotes to life in ways that feel tangible and utterly mesmerizing. Every tendril, every transformation, every fight sequence is rendered with a level of detail that pulls you deeper into the world of the film. The cinematography, too, deserves special mention. Insert cinematographer's name has crafted a visual style that's equal parts gritty and beautiful, perfectly capturing the film's darker tone. From the neon-lit streets of San Francisco to the shadowy corners where danger lurks, every frame feels like a work of art. The score by insert composer's name is another highlight, blending haunting melodies with pulse-pounding beats that heighten the tension and amplify the emotional impact of every scene. Whether it's a quiet moment of reflection or an all-out battle, the music perfectly complements the action on screen. But perhaps the most impressive aspect of the film is its pacing. At just over 2 hours, The Last Dance never feels rushed or bloated. Every scene serves a purpose, whether it's advancing the plot, deepening the characters, or simply giving the audience a moment to breathe. As the story hurtles toward its breathtaking climax, the stakes couldn't be higher. Eddie and Venom face their greatest challenge yet, one that tests not only their physical strength, but also their resolve and their bond. The final act is a roller coaster of emotions, filled with moments that will leave you cheering, gasping, and, yes, maybe even shedding a tear. Without giving too much away, the ending of Venom, The Last Dance, is both satisfying and bittersweet. It's a conclusion that feels earned, one that brings Eddie and Venom's journey full circle while leaving the door open for future stories. And for those who stay through the credits, there's a tantalizing glimpse of what's to come, an Easter egg that's sure to have fans speculating for months. So, what does Venom, The Last Dance ultimately leave us with? It's a film that's as bold as it is heartfelt, as thrilling as it is introspective. It's a reminder that even in a world filled with monsters, there's room for redemption, connection, and hope. Whether you've been a fan of Venom since the beginning or you're just discovering the character for the first time, The Last Dance is a must-watch. It's a fitting tribute to one of Marvel's most iconic antiheroes and a testament to the power of storytelling. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay tuned for more. Venom, The Last Dance also excels in its exploration of identity and what it means to live with a dual existence. Both Eddie and Venom grapple with who they are and what they're becoming, and the film doesn't shy away from making these questions uncomfortable. They both fight with inner demons, facing moments of self-doubt and isolation, which adds a deeply human layer to the spectacle. This introspective angle makes their chaotic partnership feel more grounded, creating a storyline that resonates far beyond the action-packed sequences. What's fascinating about this film is its reflection on symbiosis, not just in the literal sense of the Eddie-Venom bond, but in the metaphorical exploration of relationships in general. The film invites the audience to reflect on how we depend on others for support, yet also how we can be trapped by those dependencies. Eddie and Venom's complicated love-hate relationship mirrors the complexities of human connection, and in doing so, The Last Dance becomes an exploration of how vulnerability, trust, and forgiveness intersect within even the most tumultuous of bonds. As Eddie continues to evolve, his role as an imperfect hero becomes more apparent. He's not the idealized hero many might expect, nor is he the villain he sometimes thinks he is. The line between right and wrong, hero and antihero, becomes more fluid in this film, and it's Eddie's journey to discover what kind of man he truly wants to be that anchors the story. It's a story about finding redemption, but also accepting that redemption is a long, difficult road, not a quick fix. Eddie's growth as a person, and as a protector of the innocent, is one of the strongest emotional arcs of the film, and Hardy's portrayal adds depth to a character that is often misunderstood. The film also does a fantastic job of establishing the stakes. In The Last Dance, the villain isn't just a physical threat, they represent a philosophical and moral challenge for Eddie and Venom. This isn't just a fight for survival, it's a fight for the future of humanity itself. The antagonist's grand vision forces Eddie and Venom to confront not only their own weaknesses, but also the consequences of their actions. The villain's philosophy challenges the very essence of Eddie and Venom's partnership, forcing them to reevaluate their motives and the lengths they are willing to go to protect those they love. The fight scenes in this film are spectacular, and that's an understatement. The choreography is slick and inventive, giving each battle a unique flavor. The symbiote battles are visually stunning, with Venom and his enemies twisting and transforming in midair, creating scenes that are both exhilarating and captivating. The special effects team deserves high praise for their work, as every symbiote-induced transformation is rendered with remarkable detail. Whether it's the fluidity of Venom's movements or the visceral impact of each punch, the visual effects never lose their edge. These are moments that make the audience feel as though they're in the thick of the action, sharing in the chaos and fury. But even amidst all the chaos, The Last Dance is able to deliver moments of tenderness. Eddie and Venom, despite all their bickering and sometimes destructive behavior, are also capable of caring for one another in their own unique ways. Their relationship is, at its heart, about growth, both for Eddie as a man and Venom as a sentient being. The film finds small, quiet moments in between the battles where they show their bond in ways that don't need words. It's in the subtle gestures, the shared looks, the unspoken understanding between them. These moments provide balance to the intense action, allowing for real character development to unfold amidst the larger-than-life stakes. And while we're on the subject of stakes, let's talk about the film's pacing. At times, it feels like a juggernaut, charging forward at breakneck speed, but the film knows when to slow down and let the characters breathe. There's a delicate balance between action and introspection here, and The Last Dance expertly weaves in moments of quiet reflection alongside high-octane set pieces. This is a film that knows when to pause and take a breath before hurtling back into the fray. It gives the audience space to digest the emotions of the previous scene before launching them back into the next. The pacing never feels overwhelming or exhausting, and it's a testament to the filmmaker's skill in handling such a complex, action-packed story. One of the most captivating aspects of the film is how it incorporates humor. While the Venom films have always leaned into humor, The Last Dance finds a perfect balance. The banter between Eddie and Venom is as sharp as ever, but there's also a maturity to it this time around. It's not just jokes for the sake of jokes. It's the kind of humor that comes from a shared experience, from two characters who have spent so much time together that their wit is as much about comfort as it is about humor. There's a certain affection behind their sarcastic exchanges, and that's what makes it so endearing. Even in their most intense moments, they manage to find humor in the chaos around them. The post-credit scene, as with any film in this universe, is a huge moment. It not only sets up future installments of the Venom franchise, but also hints at the larger Marvel universe, leaving the audience eagerly awaiting what's next. Without revealing too much, it's safe to say that The Last Dance doesn't just wrap up Eddie and Venom's story. It opens the door to new possibilities, hinting at a much larger narrative yet to unfold. Fans will undoubtedly be speculating for months, eagerly awaiting what happens next. In conclusion, Venom: The Last Dance is a film that exceeds expectations. It balances humor, heart, and spectacle in a way that few films can. It's a story about two characters who are flawed, complicated, and utterly compelling. Eddie and Venom's journey is one of growth, redemption, and self-discovery, set against a backdrop of explosive action and breathtaking visuals. The film delivers on its promise, offering a thrilling ride that fans of the franchise will undoubtedly enjoy, while also making bold, fresh choices that will keep everyone on the edge of their seats. This isn't just the conclusion of a saga, it's the beginning of something even greater. So, if you haven't seen Venom: The Last Dance yet, don't wait any longer. Trust me, you won't want to miss a minute of it. Thank you for joining me for this deep dive into the film, and remember, there's always more to discover in the world of Venom. Stay tuned for future updates, and as always, stay venomous. Venom: The Last Dance not only excels in its visual and emotional storytelling, but also in its thematic depth. One of the most powerful aspects of the film is how it confronts the duality of human nature. Eddie Brock and Venom are constantly at odds, struggling to reconcile their differences and find a way to work together. But in doing so, the film asks a crucial question: what does it mean to be a hero? And more importantly, can someone with a dark, violent nature still fight for the greater good? This moral ambiguity is what gives The Last Dance its weight. Eddie and Venom are not your typical heroes. They don't fit the mold of the self-sacrificing, morally perfect protagonist. Instead, they're a messy, flawed pair trying to navigate the gray areas of life. This complex portrayal of heroism allows the audience to relate to them in a way that feels genuine. We all have our struggles, our moments of darkness and doubt, and seeing these characters wrestle with those aspects of themselves makes their triumphs feel earned and meaningful. In addition to the characters' internal battles, the movie also explores how their external challenges reflect the internal struggle. The antagonist, villain's name, represents a version of Eddie and Venom's darkest potential. This villain's approach to the world is rooted in cynicism and destruction, presenting a sharp contrast to Eddie and Venom's eventual growth. The Last Dance presents the idea that one's choices define them, not their past or circumstances, but their ability to change and evolve in the face of adversity. The villain, in many ways, serves as a mirror. They don't just stand in opposition to Eddie and Venom, they are a twisted version of what they could become if they give in to their worst impulses. This adds an extra layer of tension to the conflict, making each fight not just about saving the day, but about preserving their humanity. Eddie and Venom's struggle is one of self-preservation, as much as it is about saving the world. And it's in these moments of personal reflection that the film truly shines. Visually, The Last Dance takes everything fans loved about the previous Venom films and takes it to a whole new level. From the chaotic symbiote transformations to the fluid, almost otherworldly battles, every visual moment is designed to keep you on the edge of your seat. The symbiote fights are beautifully choreographed, offering a spectacle of light, shadows, and motion that feels like watching a living, breathing force in action. Venom's sleek design, along with the organic, pulsating nature of his form, is brought to life in a way that feels both terrifying and awe-inspiring. And it's not just the action scenes that are captivating, even the quieter moments of the film are visually striking. The cinematography captures the emotional weight of each scene with breathtaking precision, allowing the audience to truly feel the characters' isolation, pain, and hope. There are moments when the camera lingers on Eddie's face, or on the way Venom's tendrils move, where the artistry of the filmmaking elevates the story in subtle yet powerful ways. One of the most exciting parts of Venom, The Last Dance, is the way it deepens the lore of the Venomverse. Throughout the film, we're introduced to new characters, organizations, and threats that expand the world beyond Eddie and Venom's immediate circle. These additions create a sense of scale, as though the stakes of the story are not just personal but global and possibly even cosmic. The film hints at the possibility of a larger universe of symbiotes, villains, and heroes, setting the stage for even bigger adventures down the road. This expansion of the Venom universe is one of the most exciting aspects of the film. It opens up possibilities for future installments, spin-offs, and crossovers that will undoubtedly delight fans of the franchise. But what makes these additions so compelling is that they don't overshadow the central narrative. Instead, they enhance it, providing a broader context for Eddie and Venom's journey while still keeping the focus on their evolving relationship. The world building is subtle but effective, leaving just enough room for curiosity and speculation. The supporting characters in The Last Dance also contribute significantly to the film's emotional depth. And Wang's role is more substantial than in previous films, giving her a chance to grow beyond just being Eddie's ex-wife. Her character arc is one of self-discovery, and she becomes an integral part of Eddie's journey. Anne's struggle to find her own balance between helping Eddie and standing up for herself provides a poignant counterpoint to Eddie's own emotional turmoil. Her presence in the film is a reminder that Eddie's journey is not just about him, but about the people he cares about and the impact his choices have on them. The newcomers to the franchise also leave a lasting impression. Characters like insert character name bring a refreshing new dynamic to the story. Whether they're allies or adversaries, these characters add depth to the narrative and give Eddie and Venom's world a broader sense of complexity. There's a richness to these relationships that enhances the central conflict and makes the stakes feel even higher. Despite its heavy themes, the film is not without its moments of levity. Eddie and Venom's dynamic continues to be one of the most entertaining aspects of the series. The humor is darker and more sardonic this time around, but it's still there, offering a necessary break from the tension. The banter between Eddie and Venom is as sharp as ever, and their moments of camaraderie add a layer of warmth to their often volatile relationship. This humor isn't just there for comic relief. It serves to highlight the evolution of their bond. What starts out as an uncomfortable, forced partnership grows into something that is both hilarious and touching. The film's pacing also deserves mention. It moves swiftly, never lingering too long in any one moment, but never feeling rushed either. The story unfolds at a steady pace, allowing for character development, action, and tension to build organically. Each act of the film serves a purpose, and while there are plenty of action sequences to keep things exciting, there are also quieter moments that allow the characters to breathe and grow. It's a fine balance, and The Last Dance achieves it with finesse. As the film nears its climax, the tension reaches a boiling point. Eddie and Venom face off against their greatest threat yet, one that tests not only their physical strength, but also their emotional endurance. This final battle isn't just about defeating an external foe, it's about conquering their own fears and doubts. The stakes are personal, emotional, and existential. It's a fight for their very souls. Without giving too much away, the resolution is both satisfying and bittersweet. It's a culmination of everything Eddie and Venom have gone through, an emotional payoff that feels earned. The film ends on a note of ambiguity, leaving the door open for future stories while giving fans a sense of closure. But it's clear that Eddie and Venom's journey is far from over. Their last dance might have concluded, but their saga is just beginning. In the end, Venom, The Last Dance is a film that transcends the typical superhero genre. It's a story about identity, redemption, and the complex nature of human relationships. It's a film that doesn't just entertain, but challenges its audience to think deeply about the characters and the choices they make. With stunning visuals, a captivating story, and characters that feel both larger than life and deeply relatable, The Last Dance is a worthy addition to the Venom franchise and an exciting step forward for the Marvel Universe as a whole. So, if you haven't already, do yourself a favor and experience Venom, The Last Dance on the big screen. It's an unforgettable ride that you won't want to miss. Thanks for joining me on this in-depth review, and be sure to stick around for more coverage on everything Venom. As always, stay tuned for future updates, and never forget, Venom is always. As the story continues, the nuances of Eddie and Venom's relationship deepen. The tension between them, which once seemed like mere antagonism, now evolves into a powerful partnership forged through necessity, understanding, and ultimately, mutual respect. The question arises, can they truly trust each other? Or is this merely a temporary truce? Throughout the film, this question hangs in the air like a sword over their heads, creating a tension that pulses with every scene. Their constant back and forth becomes more than just dialogue. It represents their internal battle and sets the stage for the personal growth they will undergo in the face of extraordinary circumstances. This dynamic also serves to explore the core of what makes Venom so compelling as a character. While he might be a parasitic alien symbiote with destructive tendencies, he is not entirely devoid of feelings or a sense of self-preservation. In many ways, Venom, The Last Dance asks its viewers to question what defines morality. Can an antihero like Venom, who is driven by survival and primal instincts, truly evolve into something more noble, or is he doomed to remain a creature of chaos? His bond with Eddie becomes the key to answering this question. The visuals in Venom, The Last Dance push the boundaries of what audiences have come to expect from superhero films. The action sequences are mesmerizing, incorporating high-tech CGI effects that make Venom's fluid, shape-shifting abilities seem all the more otherworldly. The symbiote's ability to morph into various forms is showcased in a series of pulse-pounding, breathtaking moments that leave audiences on the edge of their seats. These transformations not only highlight the raw power of Venom, but also serve as a metaphor for the inner turmoil both Eddie and Venom experience. The symbiote's shape-shifting nature becomes a visual representation of their own evolving identities, constantly changing, adapting, and struggling to find a stable equilibrium. The sound design complements this visual spectacle beautifully, with every action-packed scene underpinned by a deep, resonant score that amplifies the emotional weight of the battle. Each moment, whether it's a high-octane fight or a tender scene of personal reflection, is elevated by the soundscapes that draw the audience deeper into the world of Venom, The Last Dance. The sound of the symbiote's tendrils writhing or Eddie's voice reverberating in moments of intense dialogue is as much a character in the film as the protagonists themselves. This attention to auditory detail enhances the immersive experience and reminds viewers that Venom's world is a place that exists beyond the visual. In The Last Dance, the stakes of the story aren't just about the survival of the characters. They transcend the typical save-the-world plot, moving into the realms of personal redemption and moral philosophy. Eddie's journey, in particular, feels like a battle not just for survival, but for his soul. Can he reconcile the darker aspects of his nature with his desire to do good? Can Venom, a creature that thrives on chaos, learn to become something more than just a destructive force? These questions haunt Eddie as much as they haunt Venom, and The Last Dance masterfully weaves these themes into the very fabric of the story. Their journey becomes a personal odyssey, one that tests the limits of what it means to be a hero. Eddie may have started as a journalist driven by ambition and ego, and Venom may have initially seen him as just a host, a means to an end. But through their time together, they begin to understand one another, and what was once an antagonistic relationship slowly transforms into a deep and transformative partnership. Each is challenged by the other's flaws, but in doing so, they help one another grow. This emotional and psychological evolution is perhaps the most important aspect of Venom, The Last Dance, offering a refreshing take on the superhero genre. It's a story that values growth, struggle, and the power of second chances over mere spectacle and fight scenes. Meanwhile, the villain in the film is more than just a force to be defeated. They are a mirror to Eddie and Venom's journey, a reflection of what Eddie could become if he loses himself to his darker impulses. Villain's Name is a character who understands the duality of human nature but has embraced the darkness, giving in to their worst tendencies. Their ultimate goal is not just to defeat Eddie and Venom, but to prove that embracing chaos is the only true path to power. This conflict is what sets the stage for some of the film's most intense moments, as Eddie and Venom must confront the reality that their actions, their choices, could lead them down the same path of destruction. It's a test of their commitment to change and growth, and The Last Dance makes it clear that the only way to win this battle is to accept their flaws and fight for a better future. The film's pacing is meticulously crafted, allowing for both moments of high-energy action and quiet, introspective character moments. It doesn't rush through its emotional beats, taking the time to let the audience connect with Eddie, Venom, and the supporting characters on a deeper level. The dialogue, particularly between Eddie and Venom, is sharp and biting, laced with both humor and sorrow. Their interactions are some of the most entertaining aspects of the film, balancing the gravity of the story with a sense of lightheartedness. But the true magic comes from how those moments of humor don't detract from the story's core themes. They complement them, showing that even in the darkest moments, there can be a glimmer of hope. As the story builds toward its climax, every action scene becomes more urgent and emotionally charged. Eddie and Venom find themselves not just fighting for their survival, but for the chance to define who they are as individuals and as partners. The final battle, which sees Eddie and Venom face off against the villain, is not just an action sequence. It's a culmination of their journey. It's a moment where everything they've struggled with, every doubt and fear, comes to a head. Their final stand is a testament to their growth as characters, and the fight feels personal, not just physical. It's not just about stopping the villain, it's about stopping themselves from falling into the same darkness. The resolution, while satisfying, is tinged with bittersweetness. The film closes with a sense of ambiguity, leaving room for future stories while offering closure to this chapter of Eddie and Venom's journey. The ambiguity of the ending allows for speculation, creating a sense of excitement for what's to come. Eddie and Venom's relationship, while transformed, is not complete. The door is open for further development, and fans of the series will undoubtedly be left eager for the next installment. But even with the uncertainty of the future, Venom, The Last Dance leaves its mark. It's a film that redefines the idea of what a hero is and challenges the conventions of the superhero genre. It's a story about identity, redemption, and the power of choice, one that will stay with audiences long after the credits roll. This is a film that doesn't just give you action and thrills, but also a deep, emotional experience that resonates on a personal level. So, as the final credits roll and the screen fades to black, we're left with more than just a thrilling action movie. We're left with a story about two unlikely allies who, despite all odds, have come to understand one another. And in that understanding, they've become something more, something worth rooting for. In Venom, The Last Dance, the true battle wasn't against a villain. It was against themselves. As Eddie and Venom walk off into the unknown, we're reminded that the greatest enemy isn't always the one you can see, it's the one inside you. And sometimes, the only way to defeat that enemy is to dance with it. So, if you haven't seen Venom, The Last Dance yet, don't wait any longer. It's a ride you won't regret, and a journey that will stick with you long after you've left the theater. As the narrative of Venom, The Last Dance unfolds, it is clear that the film explores themes that go beyond the typical superhero fare. At its core, it's a study of duality, not just in the sense of the Eddie-Venom relationship, but in how these two characters reflect the darker sides of human nature. While Venom may be an alien symbiote, he embodies many of the traits that make humanity so complex: fear, love, rage, and a desire for freedom. These emotional landscapes become key elements as Eddie and Venom find themselves facing their most challenging adversaries yet. The pacing of the movie perfectly complements this thematic exploration. The shifts from tense, high-stakes confrontations to quieter, more introspective moments offer a breath of fresh air and allow the emotional beats of the story to resonate. With each sequence, we are invited to reflect not only on the external struggles Eddie and Venom face, but on their internal growth as well. The film's ability to seamlessly integrate these transitions between spectacle and heart is one of its most impressive achievements. One of the film's strongest aspects is its portrayal of the villain, who challenges Eddie and Venom in ways that force them to confront their own darkest impulses. Unlike many cookie-cutter antagonists, this villain is not driven by a simple desire for power or destruction. Rather, their motives are rooted in a complex philosophy about the nature of existence. They represent a twisted reflection of Venom's journey, an individual who has surrendered entirely to chaos, rejecting the idea of growth or redemption. The contrast between Eddie and this villain highlights the key theme of the movie, the struggle between chaos and control, between embracing one's darker side and fighting to maintain humanity. Throughout the film, the villain serves as a foil to both Eddie and Venom, pushing them to examine their relationship with each other and themselves. The villain's actions aren't just destructive, they are deeply personal, attempting to break down Eddie's resolve by exploiting his vulnerabilities. And just as Eddie begins to doubt himself, Venom is there, pushing him to remember who they are together. The dynamic between Eddie, Venom, and the villain is an intricate dance, one that highlights the core of the film's exploration of identity. Visually, Venom, The Last Dance is a spectacle that constantly surprises. The film's action scenes are executed with a masterful sense of rhythm, creating a blend of breathtaking CGI and grounded emotional stakes. Venom's symbiote forms are both awe-inspiring and terrifying, as they twist and shift in ways that only CGI could render. The scenes where Venom's powers are unleashed are stunning, but it is in the quieter moments, when Eddie and Venom share a look or an intimate conversation, that the true heart of the film lies. The action, while crucial to the story, serves as a backdrop to the more profound emotional narrative that drives the film. Each fight feels consequential, not just because of the physical stakes, but because of the emotional toll it takes on Eddie and Venom. The true power of the symbiote lies in its ability to connect with Eddie on a deep, sometimes painful level. Their bond, strained by doubts and fears, is at the heart of The Last Dance, and the film uses its visual spectacle to amplify the emotional stakes. At the film's climax, we are given a showdown that not only tests the physical abilities of Eddie and Venom, but also their emotional resilience. The final confrontation is a roller coaster of emotions, where each punch thrown, every explosion, and every victory feels hard-won. What's at stake here isn't just the fate of the world, but the very survival of the partnership that has defined both Eddie and Venom. It's a battle for control, control over their destiny, control over their impulses, and most importantly, control over the person they want to become. The villain, with all their power and conviction, represents everything Eddie and Venom could become if they lose themselves to chaos. This battle, however, is not simply about defeating the villain. It's about defeating the internal struggles that have plagued Eddie throughout the film. It's about coming to terms with who he is, with who Venom is, and with the shared responsibility they both hold in their survival. It's a moment of truth, where the partnership between Eddie and Venom is no longer just about mutual survival, it's about mutual growth. And that's what makes the final battle so powerful. As the movie reaches its conclusion, the emotional weight of the journey hits its peak. Eddie and Venom, battered and changed by their trials, emerge from the ashes of their conflict with a new understanding of themselves. The film leaves us with the sense that, while their struggles may never truly end, they have become stronger for it. The final moments of Venom, The Last Dance, aren't filled with the usual fare of victory speeches or big heroic gestures. Instead, they are reflective, quiet moments that invite us to consider the personal growth that has taken place, both for Eddie and for Venom. Their journey, though far from over, has taught them valuable lessons about trust, sacrifice, and what it means to be truly free. Eddie, once lost and unsure of his path, has finally embraced his role as the host to Venom, understanding that together they are more than just a man and an alien symbiote. They are a force that can change the world, for better or worse. And Venom, who once saw humanity as weak and unworthy of his attention, has found a strange kinship in Eddie, one that transcends their differences and defines their partnership. The film closes with a feeling of both finality and anticipation. Venom. The Last Dance concludes this chapter of Eddie and Venom's journey, but it also sets the stage for new challenges, new villains, and new emotional struggles. The door is left open for future stories, leaving fans eagerly anticipating what comes next. Will Eddie and Venom continue to evolve? Will they ever fully reconcile with the darkness that both of them harbor within? And most importantly, will they remain allies or find themselves at odds once again? These questions linger long after the credits roll, inviting viewers to look forward to the next installment in the Venom saga. The film, while offering closure, also opens the door to endless possibilities, ensuring that the story of Eddie and Venom is far from over. As we leave the theater, we're reminded that the greatest battles aren't fought in the streets or in epic showdowns, but within ourselves. Eddie and Venom, despite their immense power, have proven that even the strongest warriors must confront their inner demons. And it's only by dancing with those demons that they can truly find peace. With Venom, The Last Dance, we're given not just another chapter in a superhero saga, but a deeper, more introspective exploration of identity, morality, and the choices that shape our destiny. If you haven't experienced it yet, now is the time to dive into this emotional roller coaster and see for yourself how Eddie and Venom's journey unfolds. It's a story that'll keep you thinking long after you've walked out of the theater, and one you won't want to miss. As we move further into Venom, The Last Dance, the narrative begins to weave even deeper into the complexity of Eddie's inner turmoil. Eddie, who has always struggled with the balance of his dual identity, now faces the ultimate test of what it truly means to live with Venom as part of him. The film takes great care in illustrating how Eddie and Venom have come to understand one another over time, no longer merely a symbiotic relationship driven by mutual need, but a complex partnership that demands compromise, understanding, and trust. Eddie's journey of self-discovery is not without its setbacks. As the film progresses, the cracks in his emotional armor begin to show. The weight of the decisions he has made, the lives he has impacted, the people he has hurt, seems to come crashing down all at once. Venom, ever present and ever willing to push Eddie towards a more primal path, becomes both a catalyst for change and a reminder of the darker impulses Eddie has struggled to control. This constant push and pull between them creates an emotional landscape that feels both tense and intimate, making every moment feel like a crucial turning point. Throughout the film, Eddie is forced to confront not just external enemies, but his own fears. The villain, whose presence looms like a shadow throughout, is a reflection of what Eddie could become if he gives in to the destructive urges that both he and Venom harbor. This confrontation is more than just a battle of wills. It is an existential struggle between two forces fighting for control over the future. Can Eddie embrace the part of him that has always feared the symbiote's power? Or will he find a way to overcome that fear and become something greater than himself? In contrast, Venom's character development in this film also takes a significant leap. We see Venom not only as the chaotic, thrill-seeking force he once was, but also as a being capable of growth and reflection. His relationship with Eddie, though still strained at times, becomes more nuanced as the two learn to communicate in ways that they had never done before. Venom, once fully driven by his desire for destruction, now finds himself in a position where he must learn to make sacrifices for the greater good. His growth is mirrored in Eddie's evolution, as they both strive to find a balance between their inner darkness and the hope that they can make something positive out of their bond. The dynamic between Eddie and Venom evolves from a mere survivalist mentality to a true partnership based on mutual respect and understanding. But this growth is far from smooth. There are moments when their bond is tested, moments when Eddie feels like he can't continue, moments when he is on the verge of giving up entirely. It is during these moments that Venom steps in, not as a mere force of nature, but as a partner, offering the kind of emotional support that Eddie has rarely had from any other source. This emotional depth adds another layer to the film, elevating it beyond just a superhero action flick to a character-driven narrative about growth, trust, and redemption. As we approach the middle act of the film, the stakes grow higher. Eddie and Venom are thrust into an all-out battle against a villain whose power seems nearly unstoppable. The action intensifies, but what makes these sequences truly memorable is the emotional weight they carry. Each punch thrown, every explosion, is not just a spectacle, it's a reflection of the tension between Eddie and Venom as they both struggle to maintain control over their shared body. The action scenes, while thrilling, are underpinned by a deep emotional core, making them feel far more personal than the typical battle sequences seen in superhero films. The villain's power is not only physical but psychological, and this is where Venom, the last dance, shines. The battle is not just one of strength, but one of minds. The villain knows how to manipulate Eddie's weaknesses, exploiting his fears and doubts about his own worth. This makes the conflict feel deeply personal. Eddie isn't just fighting to save the world or protect those around him. He's fighting for his own sense of identity and purpose. The villain's attacks are as much about breaking Eddie's spirit as they are about destroying him physically. And it is in these moments that Venom's support becomes invaluable. Venom, who once might have reveled in the chaos, now fights alongside Eddie not out of a desire for destruction but out of a need to protect the one person who has accepted him, flaws and all. In the final act, as the emotional stakes reach their peak, the narrative shifts gears. The epic showdown that awaits Eddie and Venom is one of monumental significance, not just for the world around them, but for their relationship. Their bond, tested to its limits, is finally put to the ultimate test. It's not simply about defeating the villain, it's about understanding who they truly are and what they stand for. The final moments are a reflection of everything that has come before, a culmination of Eddie and Venom's journey from mere survival to true partnership. The hero's journey, as it were, isn't about the victories in battle, it's about the triumph over one's inner demons. The battle is intense, filled with moments of high action and tension. Eddie and Venom, pushed to their absolute limits, must draw on everything they've learned about themselves and each other to overcome the villain. It's a fight that feels earned, not just because of the stakes involved, but because of the personal growth that has occurred throughout the film. Every punch, every move, every decision is a result of the emotional journey that Eddie and Venom have undergone together. The stakes have never been higher, and the payoff is nothing short of emotionally satisfying. The resolution of the film, though not without its scars, offers a sense of hope. Eddie and Venom, battered and broken, have come through the other side of their trials stronger than ever before. The final moments of the film don't offer a simple, easy solution to their problems, but rather an understanding that their journey is ongoing. They may have won the battle, but the war, both external and internal, is far from over. The film ends on a note of possibility. What comes next for Eddie and Venom is unknown, but whatever it is, they are ready to face it together. The emotional weight of the conclusion lingers long after the credits roll, leaving the audience to reflect on the deeper themes of the film. Venom, The Last Dance is not just about a man and a symbiote fighting evil. It's about the power of change, growth, and redemption. It's about finding the strength to face one's fears, embrace one's flaws, and ultimately come out on the other side stronger. Eddie and Venom's journey is far from over, but in The Last Dance, they've taken a crucial step towards understanding themselves and their place in the world. The credits roll, and as we sit in the darkened theater, we're left with the feeling that Venom, The Last Dance, has not just concluded a chapter, it's opened the door to a new, more complex future for Eddie and Venom. What's next? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. The dance between Eddie and Venom is far from over. As Venom, The Last Dance unfolds, the layers of Eddie's inner conflict continue to deepen. While he and Venom have grown to understand one another more than ever before, the true test lies in how they navigate their relationship in the face of overwhelming adversity. Eddie has always been a man on the edge, caught between two worlds, never fully belonging to either. And now, with Venom's presence more pronounced than ever, the weight of that dual existence has grown increasingly unbearable. Yet, the movie challenges Eddie to question whether he is truly bound to this chaotic existence, or if he has the strength to rise above it. In moments of reflection, we see Eddie grappling with the question of identity. He wonders if the person he once was, the journalist driven by ambition and desire for success, is lost forever. But the most profound change is in his relationship with Venom. It's clear that while Venom has always been a force of destruction, Eddie's own growth over the course of the film has led them toward a new understanding. The dynamic between them is no longer simply one of mutual survival, but one of choice and sacrifice. Eddie, realizing that he can no longer keep running from the consequences of his decisions, must make a choice. Embrace the power that Venom offers and risk losing his humanity, or sever ties with Venom and lose the one thing that has kept him from completely falling into darkness. This internal struggle is mirrored by the external battles that Eddie and Venom face. The villain, a figure from Eddie's past, represents everything Eddie fears he could become if he fully succumbs to the chaos within. The film cleverly explores the idea that Eddie and the villain are not so different. They are both men who have experienced loss, betrayal, and fear, and who have been driven to make desperate decisions in the face of overwhelming circumstances. The villain's ability to manipulate Eddie, to exploit his deepest insecurities, is what makes him so dangerous. Unlike other antagonists, this villain doesn't just pose a physical threat to Eddie and Venom, he threatens their very sense of self. As the movie dives into the heart of the conflict, we see Eddie and Venom slowly start to realize that their battle is not just against an external enemy, but against the forces within themselves. Venom, too, is facing his own struggles. As much as he enjoys the thrill of destruction, he starts to recognize that his bond with Eddie is not just a matter of survival, it's a deeper connection, one that is worthy of protection. The two, despite their constant bickering and differences, are forced to confront the truth that they are stronger together than apart. It's a realization that doesn't come easily, and it's one that is hard-won after a series of battles, both physical and emotional. The tension between Eddie and Venom grows as the external threat escalates. The film shifts from intense action sequences to quieter, more introspective moments, where Eddie is forced to look inward. These moments are some of the most powerful in the film, as Eddie confronts the ghosts of his past, the relationships he's damaged, and the personal demons that continue to haunt him. In these moments of solitude, Venom's voice, once an intrusive, almost parasitic presence, becomes something of a guide. Venom, in his own way, offers Eddie the kind of support and clarity that no one else can provide. Their relationship, though still imperfect, becomes one of mutual respect and even empathy. The film excels in showing how Eddie's vulnerability becomes his greatest strength. In his moments of doubt, when he feels the weight of the world on his shoulders, it is Venom who reminds him of the power within. It's a striking reversal of their earlier relationship, where Eddie was often the one pulling Venom back from his more destructive tendencies. In Venom, The Last Dance, the two begin to see each other not as enemies, but as companions, two parts of a whole that need each other to survive. Their bond is no longer just a source of conflict, but a symbol of their growth as individuals and as a unit. As the villain's influence grows, the stakes are raised. The personal stakes for Eddie become intertwined with a larger conflict, as he realizes that the choices he makes now will have lasting consequences, not just for himself, but for everyone around him. The film takes great care in showing how the weight of Eddie's past decisions comes crashing down on him. The sins of his past, the people he's hurt, and the choices he's made come to a head in the most dramatic way possible. But it's in these moments of crisis that Eddie begins to find clarity. He understands, for the first time, what it truly means to take responsibility for his actions, and what it means to make a choice that is about more than just survival. In the third act, the final confrontation takes place. Eddie and Venom, fully aware of the stakes, stand together against the villain in a fight that is as much about the fate of their relationship as it is about the fate of the world. This battle is not just a physical one, but an emotional and psychological one. Eddie's strength is tested in ways that he never imagined. He is pushed to his breaking point, forced to make the ultimate sacrifice for the greater good. But the payoff, both in terms of action and emotion, is worth the cost. Eddie and Venom, having gone through their individual journeys of growth, are finally ready to face their shared future. The fight itself is a brutal and chaotic one. The villain is relentless, pushing Eddie and Venom to the brink. But through sheer will and determination, Eddie and Venom fight back, using everything they've learned over the course of their journey. The final moments of the battle are a culmination of everything Eddie and Venom have gone through together, their struggles, their growth, their partnership. The fight ends not with a simple victory, but with a powerful acknowledgement of how far both Eddie and Venom have come. The aftermath of the battle is equally powerful. In the final moments of Venom, the last dance, Eddie and Venom stand together, bruised and battered, but stronger than ever before. The world around them may be in ruins, but they have come through their trials together. The movie ends on a note of ambiguity, leaving open the question of what the future holds for Eddie and Venom. While they have triumphed over the immediate threat, their journey is far from over. The film closes with the sense that, whatever challenges lie ahead, Eddie and Venom will face them as equals, partners in every sense of the word. In the final scene, we see Eddie and Venom standing side by side, looking out at the world they've fought to protect. Their bond, once fraught with conflict, is now something stronger, something built on mutual understanding, trust, and respect. They are no longer just two beings sharing a body. They are a team, ready to face whatever comes next together. This conclusion offers both closure and anticipation, leaving the door open for future adventures while firmly establishing the emotional growth of Eddie and Venom as the heart of the story. Venom: The Last Dance is not just a film about action and destruction. It's a deeply human story about growth, redemption, and the power of unlikely partnerships. The journey that Eddie and Venom have undertaken is one that will resonate with audiences long after the credits roll. As Venom: The Last Dance reaches its final moments, the emotional stakes reach their zenith. Eddie and Venom, once mismatched and misunderstood, now stand at a crossroads in their shared journey. It's no longer just about survival or the endless battles that have defined their existence. Now, they're forced to confront the consequences of their past actions, not only for themselves, but for everyone they care about. The bond that has evolved between them is tested like never before. Each character, Eddie and Venom, has experienced their own arc of growth, but the real challenge comes in understanding how to reconcile their separate identities into one shared future. This final chapter is all about facing the deep, often painful truths that they've avoided throughout the story. Eddie, for all his bravado and wit, has always carried a burden of guilt, haunted by the people he's failed and the mistakes he's made. Venom, the symbiote, is no stranger to conflict either. His existence has been defined by violence, by destruction, and by a hunger that has driven him to extremes. But what they've learned along the way is that their partnership is not just a means to an end. It's a chance for both to heal and find purpose. The battle against the villain, which begins as an external fight for survival, morphs into something more personal. The villain's connection to Eddie, once buried deep in his past, emerges as the ultimate catalyst for Eddie's emotional reckoning. The villain embodies everything Eddie fears he could become. The complex dynamics between Eddie, Venom, and the villain serve as a mirror to the fractured parts of Eddie's psyche. It becomes clear that this battle is not just a physical confrontation, it's the culmination of everything Eddie has avoided, facing his own darkness, his regrets, and ultimately his humanity. This is the moment where Eddie must reconcile the person he was with the person he's becoming. In the midst of the chaos, there are moments of clarity. Eddie finds himself reflecting on what truly matters, and it's not the fame or success he once pursued. It's the people he loves and the bond he has with Venom. Venom, too, has changed. No longer just a force of destruction, Venom's journey throughout the film mirrors Eddie's own. He's learned to control his impulses, to be a partner rather than a parasite. This shift is not without its struggles, and Venom's desire for chaos still lingers. But there's a new awareness in Venom, a recognition that their relationship, though unconventional, is powerful in ways neither could have anticipated. The evolution of their dynamic adds emotional depth to the film, turning what could have been a simple monster movie into a meditation on redemption, sacrifice, and the nature of partnership.